talk a little bit at the first so that.
We're good to go, sir.
Well, I am told we are now live. I would like to welcome everyone to the 2020 awards banquet. Let me cover a little housekeeping to start with. As every year, we'll be opening the buffet up. I think it should be in about 12 months if you want to go ahead and get in line. I don't think we have a cash bar in all of the offices, but you can check on that and get back with me on that. Bottom line, 2020 is a little different year. And as we go into 2021, it's still a little different. But you know what? That didn't mean we did not want to take time and say thank you and say congratulations to all of our employee family. First of all, that got us through a year that has been unprecedented. And there were many sad stories, from losing an employee to losing a council member, but we've come through it and we're going to be strong. So today we're going to say thank you. We're going to award a lot of people. We have 230 of our employees that would be receiving their service awards for 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and 35 years. Now, I didn't mention 40. I wished I could mention everybody in that 230, but there is one that I think if you hit 40 years with one organization, I think that deserves some pretty special recognition. So, Teresa Coombs, if you are on and watching this, on behalf of myself and the entire management team and council, thank you. Thank you for 40 years, not just of service, but you have delivered world-class service, and you've done it in a way we have been so proud to be able to have you on our team. So look, just give us 40 more, we'll be happy. To the other 229, like I said, I wished I could name each of you and talk about it. It just, we can't do it for time today. But we do have a lot of other award categories that we're going to be running through here. So why don't we just get started? These are posted on our city webpage. And tomorrow, all the winners will be posted there also. So in case you miss this, you'll be able to go in and see. First thing we want to do, we have a little video for the year that we'd like to kick it off. So Baron, I think you're driving, so why don't you start the video?
1 second, sir. Well, that's interesting. Almost there, sir. Okay, desktop.
"2020, a year of unprecedented challenges for City of Grand Prairie employees. But during this difficult time, employees responded with innovations like new online services and virtual meetings, curbside service at the libraries and animal shelter, flexible work schedules, and working from home.
I just want to tell you how proud I am of y'all. This past year has been crazy, but y'all stepped up and met the challenge. Every one of you.
But let me tell you something. I watched the people in this organization step up and achieve things that were unbelievable. And you made it happen for our customers and our citizens. And I just want to tell you, thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Well, 2020 was a year unlike any other. Thank you so much for your hard work and dedication to our great city. We really appreciate it.
While others shut down, Grand Prairie City employees worked harder than ever to keep providing a world-class level of essential services that citizens depend on every day.
Thank you to all my brothers and sisters here in the city of Grand Prairie for ushering us through a very difficult 2020. I'm honored to work beside you.
I want to just extend a thank you and a hats off to the planning and development team. Truly appreciate your efforts during a difficult year.
Thank you to all the members of the Finance Administration, Accounting, and Fleet teams for a job well done during 2020.
I just want to commend all of Grand Prairie staff on an amazing job the last 12 months. I know it's been tough. In particular, all my public works folks from managing COVID, managing the winter event. You guys and girls do an amazing job day in and day out.
And the city's environmental and emergency management team delivered essential COVID-19 services, including personal protection for employees, a test site for residents, drive-through vaccination registration sites, and with the Grand Prairie Fire Department, a drive-through vaccination station.
Some of you were suffering some of the same things that our citizens were suffering, but you didn't give way. You continued, you fought on, and I want to say I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
From our heart to yours, thank you for everything you did to make this city an amazing place to live, work, and play.
Thank you so much for helping our citizens make this last year much more bearable.
Thank you, everyone, for all your hard work in 2020. We all appreciate it. Thank you.
I just want to thank everyone for doing their part in helping us get through a difficult year of 2020. Thank you again.
As we were learning to mask up, stay socially distanced, and wash our hands a lot, the city continued improving the quality of life for citizens by opening Playground Adventures and the new City Hall Central, increasing the homestead exemption, passing the quarter-cent sales tax for crime control, moving into the new Fire Station 4, launching new economic development, establishing a new inclusion coordinator. Through it all, City of Grand Prairie employees remain dependable, inventive, and kind.
One of the key things that everybody really did was show kindness to everybody. We showed kindness to our fellow employees, we showed kindness to our residents, and that is something so special. So thank you for all you've done.
You all are doing an awesome job. Keep it up. We are so proud of you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Hey, nothing beats what you've done for citizens in Grand Prairie throughout COVID. Thank you.
2020 was a tough year, and y'all rose to the occasion.
City of Grand Prairie employees rock! Yeah!
Well, my compliments to the folks putting that video together. As always, they did a wonderful job. I think all of the directors and assistant managers did a great job of expressing how we feel about what all of you've done out there this year. Wasn't it amazing to think of the accomplishments that happened even in 2020? This organization kept on charging. And again, that's because of you guys. 21, we're seeing things picking up. I'm feeling good about how 21 is going. I am going to put in one commercial right now. A lot of you live here. Please, voting has started as of, I guess, yesterday for the council election and for our bond election. So if you live here, please get your family and you get all your pets, go vote. I'm not telling you how to vote, but go vote. Let me just say, this is an important election for us. And it would sure be a shame if things did not pass because we didn't vote. If they don't pass and you do vote, okay. So thank you. You know what? That's enough of me talking. I think it's time to introduce some of my other presenters. And they are going to get the award winners out of, I think, not a magazine, but a mayonnaise jar with Funk and Wagner or something like that. So let me introduce the man who needs no introduction, but I will, who will be speaking in a minute, is our mayor, Ron Jensen. I think everyone here knows what a supporter, not only of the city he is, but of this great organization and its employees' family. Next, let me introduce Dr. Steve Dye. Dr. Dye has come over here. I told him to the dark side. He is now a deputy city manager and also serving as our chief operating officer, which he might have said keep it if he'd have known 2020 was bringing COVID. But Steve, let me say personally to you, your leadership, your management skills throughout 20 into 21 made me realize I think I made a really good decision. Thank you for the time. And thank you for teaching me all that about ranching when it was just you and me in City Hall. He grew up on a ranch. I feel like I could be a rancher. Let me also introduce Mr. Bill Hills. Bill, been in this organization so long, I can't even remember when, but we got him over here and he is now doing the people's work and we are so proud of it. And Bill, you are bringing a lot to this operation. Thank you so much. And last but not least, one of our presenters today, a relatively new person, but it is Tasha Velasco, who is our Employee Recognition Committee Chair, and she also hangs out in HR a little bit. So, you know what, folks? I think we got some great presenters. I'm excited to hear who the winners are. So, Dr. Dye, I'm going to kick it over to you.
Well, thank you, Tom. And the first thing I wanted to mention is Cheryl De Leon was not able to be with us today because her husband is having a medical procedure. So she wanted me to pass along her congratulations to the nominees and award winners and regrets that she couldn't be with us. I'll reiterate what Tom has spoken about and what you heard on the video from our DCMs and directors about the thanks and gratitude we have for all of you all for what you've done over this last year. You know, it's a shame that not more people could win and be nominated. It was a really tough decision for the awards committee this year because there were so many deserving applicants. And it really is going to be hard to pick those winners. You know, I've said before, crisis reveals character, and you all as an employee family really stepped up to the challenge. Not only do we have to deal with COVID and the winter storm, but we also had to continue our regular business. And as your COO, I could not be more proud of each of you. You really came through with flying colors. You made us over at the CMO proud. You made our elected officials proud. And we've got numerous comments and voluminous feedback from our citizens on how appreciative they are for your high levels of service and responsiveness. So thank you. You make my job a pleasure. You make my job easy. We're a can-do bunch. I don't hear excuses. I don't hear why we can't do things. We just, quite frankly, get the job done. And then hopefully we're out ahead of our skis most of the time on anticipating what our citizens need before they even ask. So again, thank you all for all that you do. And thank you for taking the time to be on this Zoom today to share in this recognition with your fellow employees. So God bless all of you and thank you. Baron, you want to go ahead and get the PowerPoint started for us? So what we're going to do here is we are going to go through our list of nominees. And I'm going to start us out by talking about the group teamwork category. And the nominees are our Prairie Lights team, the IT staff at the Public Safety Building, Chief Robert Fight and Assistant Chiefs CJ Grippin and Bill Murphy at the Fire Department, our Public Works brush crew, and the COVID-19 test site crew.
We also have the EPIC staff, the environmental services staff, the building inspections intake team, Grand Prairie Memorial Gardens, and solid waste and recycling crews.
We also have our fleet services crew, our fire EMS billing team, parks, housing, and police department for the Rufy Jackson warming station, the planning division, and the building inspections division.
Additional nominees are the crime scene investigation team at the police department, Mayor Jensen's 70 for 70 team, the streets division staff, the Shotwell Library staff, and our IT management team.
Our streets concrete contract crew, water field services crew, our communications COVID team, our tourism division, housing, public works, fire, and police for work during the recent freeze. And Mayor, would you be so kind as to reveal the winner?
You bet. All worthy participants and nominees. Goodness, it's hard to choose, but here, the winner is Environmental Services. As information began to emerge regarding the coronavirus pandemic, this team set in action. They provided information, supplies, and overall support to all the city staff. They arranged test sites, reached out to staff regarding actions needed to slow and stop the spread. This entire team took on the role of locating PPE and cleaning supplies to purchase and printing signage needed for city facilities. Cindy and Werner were calm, reassuring, and graciously answered any questions that were presented, no matter how random. Congratulations, your Environmental Services team.
And now the group innovation category. The nominees are Eliana Vasquez and Lourdes Gabadon in the summit, library staff, Parks virtual summer camp team, Eugene Brown and Leo Auillon, solid waste litter crew, Prairie Lakes Pro Shop, the GIS team, and animal services staff. Mayor, who is our winner?
And the winner is the library staff. In 2020, let's give them a round of applause, library staff, Amy and all her crew. In 2020, the libraries offered curbside service, at-home delivery, Wi-Fi printing from the parking lot, virtual computer help, Zoom and Facebook live classes, and kits to check out in advance of virtual classes, as well as flip the 10-week summer reading club to a virtual in a week, reducing borrowing limits and mailed handwritten notes to customers. Boy, they did it all. The team presented 1,600 classes that were viewed 127,000 times, made 900 social media posts, those were viewed 650,000 times, and increased digital checkouts by 40%. Congratulations again, the library staff.
And now our nominees in the individual category of integrity. Dane Stovall, streets. Rose Chavez, solid waste. Werner Rodriguez, environmental services. Melinda Rodriguez, police. And Janet Sosa Sita, finance. Mayor, over to you for the winner.
Again, what a great group. What a great group. We need all of you, but the winner of this time is Dane Stovall. Dane always puts service to the city first, works to make sure that every corner of the city is maintained and safe for our citizens. He assures that all work is performed with the highest standards. During the pandemic, Dane was on site on the job every day. His presence and integrity kept the streets division fully operational, even with half out on quarantine or illnesses. The workers saw him on site, which was inspiring for the crew. His leadership was essential by keeping work flowing and the morale high. Congratulations, Dane.
And now for the individual people category. Our nominees are Robert Fight, Fire Chief, Krista Mars, Parks, Jackie Gunderson, The Summit, and Dennis Morrison, Building Inspection.
We also have Susan Sanders in Finance, Ron Neely in Parks, Werner Rodriguez, Environmental Services, and Gary Yakish in Parks. Mayor, would you please announce our winner?
Oh goodness, this one's personal to me. I've known this individual over 40 years, played racquetball with him when the Racquetball Fitness Unique was downtown on Main Street. Our sons played basketball together on different teams, not on the same, but I really like this man, and y'all can guess who it is by what I'm saying. It's Ron Neely, Parks, Arts and Recreation. In the midst of COVID-19, Ron spent weeks and money out of his pocket to help a widow with raccoons in her attic. He was stopped by on the way home from work to check the traps and take and release those that he caught. He identified and fixed where they were getting in and was able to successfully rid her attic of these masked bandits. She had a bad experience with a contractor and was at the end of her rope. This is an example of what world-class service is, and Ron Neely provided this for the most valuable asset to our citizens. Ron, congratulations.
And so now the nominees in the individual category of service are Connie Reese in Code, Leland Miller in Streets, Marta Cedarstrom in Housing, Tony Jones Fleet Services, and Carrie Wilkinson in Code.
Also nominated, Shelby Steelman, Police, Jason Williams, Parks, Monty Whetstone, Parks, Chase Wheeler, Emergency Management, Thomas Christie, Police, and Landrum Councilman, Police.
We also have Philip Insco, Fire, Buddy Locke in IT, Zulima Herrera, 911, Savannah Ware in Planning, Mark Stone in IT, and Amanda Page from the Police Department.
And continued nominees are Bob Crandall in Facilities, Talvo in Audit, Cindy Mendez, Environmental Services, Krista Mars in Parks, Mary Beth Duran in Prosecutor's Office.
And our final nominees in this category are Peter Joyce, Transportation, Dwayne Tyner, Planning, and Chief Robert Fight, Fire. Mayor, would you like to announce our winner, please?
You bet. Great individual. The winner in this individual service category is Monte Whetstone, Parks, Arts and Recreation, Dalworth Rec Center. Monty is the epitome of a community-minded employee. He goes above and beyond to make sure the people of the community are heard and taken care of. He was instrumental in the departmental initiatives that made both citizens and fellow employees feel special. These included employee recognitions, an MLK tribute video as part of the Traps MIL and MIL and MLK Day. During this pandemic, he came up with the idea of originally programming Dalworth Defenders to entertain kids at home and coordinate exercise videos so families could stay active at home. Congratulations, Monty.
Well, there you have it. The award winners for 2020, except for one last category, that something I started about 21 years ago. And that was, I wanted an award that I could give to employees that didn't really fit any category. It was just something they did that year that made them stand out. So there hadn't been many of those over 21 years, but this year we have several that I think have earned this. In fact, I'm certain they've earned it. These folks have stepped up and they have given when you would have thought they'd given all they can. They kept giving more. Let me say, before we announce them, congratulations. You've deserved this. I want to say thank you to you. I am going to let the two deputies that are here with me today actually walk you through who the individuals are. We've got a couple more than we usually do this year, but again, it's been an unusual year. Tasha, Baron, Mayor, thank you guys for participating with us this year. We appreciate you so much. So, Steve, are you going to start it off?
Yes, sir, Tom. I am. Thank you. So this will be our last category. So before I announce the winners in the city manager category, just another congratulations to all the nominees and award winners. You know, one of the things I love most about our culture is we understand our most valuable asset at the city of Grand Prairie are our employees. We're family, we're a team. There's not one person here that's any more important than the other. We work well together, but know that your executive staff, your directors, your deputy city manager, we all really appreciate what you guys do. And again, particularly during a tough year when you're also having to take care of your families. So in this category, as you guys can imagine, this is going to be COVID related, very difficult. So many people stepped up during COVID, so very many people. And when we go through these individuals, I can promise you we could have added another 20 names to this list. So if your name is not on here, know that we certainly appreciate you and are grateful for your contributions as well. But these stood out for some particular reasons. I'm going to go through the first four. We have 5 city manager award winners this year, all COVID related. And I'm going to go through the first 4, and then I'm going to let Bill, who is pinch hitting for Cheryl, talk about the last one. So the first CMO award winner is Chase Wheeler. You all know Chase is the manager of emergency management, our Office of Emergency Management. You know, from the very beginning, Chase was on the phone with our state and county partners. And hey, if you guys remember, we couldn't get vaccines, but we as a city were able to get a few because Chase worked with a private contracting group. He really called in some favors at the state level. He has coordinated the response for the Office of Emergency Management throughout COVID. His leadership has been obvious and evident in the fact that the city of Grand Prairie is not only gotten to the top of the list on many things that we needed, but Chase has been a go-to person for the state group to ask Chase his opinion on how things should be managed. Excellent coordination with our state and county partners, excellent acquisition of vaccines, particularly when they were very scarce at the beginning, oversaw our COVID recovery task force operations in terms of tracking expenses, time worked, and revenue reimbursement. So Chase, I appreciate your leadership. On behalf of Mr. Hart, myself, Bill, and Cheryl, congratulations on a well-earned award for your countless hours, really some days 24/7, to really be there for our city. Please thank your family for us. I know you've got 2 young boys at home and a wife, and many, many times after hours on the weekends, you and I were on the phone or you were on the phone with somebody else. So thank you to your family as well, and congratulations on a very high level of recognition, which is certainly deserved. Our next CMO award recipient is Miss Cindy Mendez. You can see that her leadership was evident in the category that Environmental Services has already won. All of you all know how responsive Cindy was when any of us or our family needed to be tested. Cindy was always answering her phone. She was jumping through hoops to make sure that you all, as our employee family, were tested in a timely manner, along with your family members. Her efforts in initiating registration sites for the county, helping getting people vaccinated, working with our third-party vendor on vaccinations. She has a work ethic second to none, and her efforts behind the scenes, many of you all saw what she did, but leading her team and making sure that our citizens and our employees kept as safe as possible, and that we did have lower percentages of a positivity rate. Really, Cindy, I can't thank you enough. I tell you this all the time, but I appreciate how dedicated you are to your job. I know it's a passion for you, and how much you care about our city, and how well you've taken care of our city employees during this testing and vaccination phase. So Cindy, again, on behalf of Tom, myself, Bill, and Cheryl, congratulations, and very well deserved. Our next CMO award recipient is Mr. Andrew Fortune. Andrew, once again, really stepped up during the COVID efforts. He coordinated all of our 32,000 meals delivered to the North Texas Food Bank. He was our liaison to help really coordinate our other city departments to help with those food distributions. Andrew was also our liaison at the state level and here locally with our nonprofits. As most of you all know, we put out over $1 million managed through the Grand Prairie United Charities in partnership with Lifeline and some of our other 501c3s. Andrew was our liaison with all of our charitable organizations. He managed the funding that was given out for rental assistance, mortgage assistance, utility assistance, and food assistance. So Andrew, I saw firsthand how hard you worked. You were always there for us. I never had to ask you twice to get something done. And quite frankly, most of the time you were ahead of me. So you really, really stepped up during COVID in those areas. I appreciate it. I want to also thank you and Chase and Cindy for always having our council updates ready to go so I could update them with the latest and greatest information. So Andrew, congratulations on behalf of Tom, myself, Bill, and Cheryl. Really proud of you. And then the next CMO award winner that I'm going to talk about is our own Fire Chief, Robert Fight. You know, Robert is over our Office of Emergency Management, did a great job along with police in managing COVID and all the moving parts that they had to really work on. But there's really two specific reasons why Robert is receiving a CMO award, in addition to all of his other hard work that many of you are involved in. Robert and his team were really innovative in making sure that when we started having to respond early on to these COVID positive cases or potentially COVID positive cases, he really thought outside the box. So when EMS would respond or police would respond, you know, many times we just had to assume that people were positive for COVID or could be contagious. And Robert immediately realized, hey, there's a more efficient, better way to do this. So again, first in the state, he said, hey, I'm going to put 2 paramedics in a self-contained vehicle to do a recon, if you will, to arrive first and really assess the situation for safety reasons, to make sure, you know, that it's safe for everybody to go in. That saved us thousands of man hours and woman hours. It also really reduced the expenses of not always having to send an engine or an ambulance into a situation and potentially contaminate multiple employees. So that decon unit, that really was an innovative strategy that Chief Fight employed. Really proud of him for coming up with that idea. And then the second reason that Robert is receiving this award, you know, early on in the vaccination process, we realized that the private suppliers, our third-party contractor, was not going to be able to keep up with the demand. We had a lot of vulnerable citizens in our city that needed to be vaccinated. And so what we did is we took matters into our own hands. Chief Fights stepped up, partnered with the city of Irving. We got the site out at the theater and successfully administered thousands of vaccinations under his watch to get us through that gap when supply was really low and demand was really high with our most vulnerable populations. I'm really proud of Robert's leadership in those areas. So Robert, you know, thank you so much for really stepping up all together for the last year, but certainly in those 2 areas. On behalf of Tom and myself and Bill and Cheryl, congratulations, much appreciated and well-deserved. And before I pass it on to Bill for the final recipient, I just want to say that all of these award winners could not have done what they did without great teams. So when they're recognized with the CMO award, understand that's recognition of the team. Leaders don't excel without great followers. And so we understand that. This is symbolic of all of you all that work in these areas, for all of the work that you all did. So thank you again for all you do. And I'm going to pass it on to Bill to talk about our last CMO award winner. Bill?
Well, thank you, Steve. I know Cheryl couldn't be here with us today, and it's a shame that she couldn't, because I get the honor of announcing our 5th CMO award winner. I can say that I have worked with this lady since the day she came to work for the city of Grand Prairie. I can say that about a whole bunch of folks here, but this one is super, super special to me. Over the past year, Amy Sprinkles has demonstrated exceptional support, creative energy, and countless hours to ensure the public was informed in ever-changing communication during the COVID-19 pandemic. Amy and her team spent the past year creating and updating COVID-related materials, marketing campaigns, internal, external web pages, posters, flyers, signs. She led the library staff by encouraging them to develop unique programming opportunities, including drive-through library services and amazing educational videos, allowing library staff to remain connected with our residents. During our recent Snowvid Ice event, Amy worked countless hours, keeping our residents informed of the resources the city was providing. She reported each day to the Emergency Operations Center, monitoring and updating, communicating as the need arose with newspapers, television reporters, anyone and everyone who inquired. We are so thankful for her energy, eagerness to serve, and can-do attitude. It's infectious. She truly exemplifies our mission to create raving fans by delivering world-class service. Day in and day out, and leads her staff to exemplify the same. Congratulations, Amy. I could think of no one else I would want to present this, my first opportunity to present a city manager's award on this well-deserved recognition.
Well, thank you, Steve and Bill. And, Robert, Cindy, Amy, Chase, Andrew, it was all unanimous in our office. You guys all stepped up to the plate this year. I just want to tell you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, Robert, you had a little leg up. I mean, when you started out January in my office when I had a heart attack, I mean, come on, that probably qualifies for a city manager award. I don't know. I'm just not totally for sure the police chief would have stepped up like that in my office, but hey, thank you. No, I mean, I'm glad I can sit here and laugh about that, but I'm very serious. I got to watch our ambulance service in action, and let me tell you, it's just one of the many examples of why I'm so proud of our community. Mayor, would you have any closing words?
Well, as y'all so fittingly said, this has been an extremely difficult year. None of us would ever wish this on anybody or want to go through it again. But this organization came together and did what was necessary. Okay, the COVID long-term deal, but what really, I remember the Ice-Mageddon that week, the countless number of hours everybody put in to try to get through that. It was probably one of the most stressful times for our management team ever in the city. Those few days were extremely stressful. We were dealing with numerous things. Our citizens were undergoing a lot of things that we had no control over, and we hated it. We stepped up and tried to help where we can, but for that specific 3 to 4 days. I just want to say thank you to every department. Bill, you know, I was on the emails with you daily. Esther was out daily. Around the clock, we had staff at streets, water. Folks, we were this close to losing water and have to boil water. I don't know how many times I got tagged, Mayor, are we on a boil water notice? No, everybody around us is, but no, we're not. We were this close, our water department. I just can't tell you enough how impressed I was for those few days. Thank you so much to this organization and everybody works for us. Y'all really stepped up.
Mayor, thank you for those words. Well, folks, that's it. Remember, please go vote. Make 2021 a great year for us, and we'll look forward to who our great award winners will be in the coming year.
Yeah,
Be
we'll do it
safe.
in person. We'll do it in person next year.
I hope so.
Yeah,
Be safe out there.
we
Thank
will,
you.
even if we all have to wear masks.
Okay, we're out.